This is the final part of this basic HTML tutorial. Today we will be discussing on the form elements. This is a very important issue in HTML, as the form elements, they actually just accept the input as provided by the user. Now just focus on this issue that it only accepts the input from the user and it does nothing. So let's hop into our project directly. We are going to our notepad. Here, as usual, as I have told you previously, create a table first. Now as we have created our table and as we have created a row and a column, so the form element should be coming under this column element over here. Now in creating your own column, in creating your own form, the basic tag used by the HTML here is form. Now this is the basic tag actually. If you are talking about a particular form in HTML, this is the basic tag, but it uses some numerous attributes along with this form tag, which comes as follows. The first thing that it accepts is the method. By two methods, an HTML element can accept your input, the get method and the post method. Then comes the ID. By mentioning the ID, we are mentioning that this particular form has this particular name and which is very much unique. So the ID is, suppose I am providing the name of this form is test form. Suppose this is the name provided to it. So what I am doing here, I am just creating a form with a method post and with an ID test form. Now let's concentrate on the form elements present under this form tag. This is one of the most used form element that you are familiar with, input. Now the type of the input, it is actually text. So let's provide it here, input type text. Name given to this particular input type we are providing here is name, and we are providing here the value. This is the indicator what type of data this input type accepts over here. As you can see that this input tag, it is actually an open or empty tag. And again, suppose I am providing here another, I am creating here another input field. Then comes the comment segment, the large data field that will accept your comment. This is the tag of text area, and mind it that this is actually a container tag. Enter your comment. User is now ready to submit his data and then he will submit. So all you have to do is to produce the submit button over here. So this is the submit button you are actually providing. Input type submit. As you can see that input type, this element is actually an empty tag. Input types, input fields, those are actually empty tags. Text area is a container tag. All you have to do is to mind it. Now just go to file and save. Come back to your project and you see here, you can see that this is the field that will accept your name. This is the field that will accept your address. This is the field that will actually accept the comment made over here, and this is the submit button which will be producing a ready to go button here. So if you press submit, you see that the page is now refreshed and it actually accepted all your data. Now as we can see here, all of them are set side by side. So if you want to make it vertical, all you have to do is to provide some BR tag over here, something like this, BR. file, save, and if you refresh, now you see that the input columns, those are coming down, descending down. Now this is, you may want to change the size of this text area, the size of this content area where you will be providing your comment over here. So all you have to do is to get into it, text area ID. You are now actually targeting to give some span into your comment field. So all you have to mention the rows, which is 10, and calls, which is suppose 45. So in this case, in this particular text area, there will be 10 rows like this, and there will be 45 columns, and there will be a submit button. What I'm doing here, I'm just providing another beer tag, something like this. As we can see here, now this whole thing is coming down, and it is now ready to go. So this is the field where you can provide your name, this is the field where you can provide your address, and this is the field where you can actually provide your comment, and you may submit this whole thing, which is ready to go now. Another thing, if you want to, now you see, if you just have to input your name, then all you have to do is to first select this, select the predefined value given over here and delete it, and then you have to provide your name. In that particular case, just replace this value thing with this new term placeholder here. So all you have to do is to go to file, save, and then come back, reload. Now you see, all you are now doing here is just clicking on that particular field and start typing whatever you want. So this is the field where you may enter your name, this is the field where you may enter your address, and this is the field where you may enter your comment. Now you see that we are creating another form element which is known as the select, and of course keep it in mind that select is a container tag. Now you are providing some options over here. So all I'm doing now is just saving this document and get back to our project and reload. And we can see here actually this thing has come, but we didn't provide any beer tag, and that is why it is coming side by side. So all you have to do is to provide this select name music option. This part is closed over here, so all we have to do is to provide this beer tag to vertically descend it down. Go to file and save. Now come back to your project, reload, and you see that a drop down list, a selection list has been appearing over here. And if you click on this arrow icon, you'll see that a drop down menu is coming down, as a list is coming down as a drop down menu, and you may choose anything from here. And there may be a plenty of things over here like this. If you come back over here and you see input types, there this kind of inputs, those are being actually used, like text, password, button, checkbox, file, reset, submit, search. All these are actually input types, text input elements from user to display. And then comes the placeholder. It is actually a hollow text that appears into the input fields and is replaced by the data entered by the user. As you can see here, if you just click over here and provide a particular name, you see that that particular input name which was taken as the default value over here, that is now disappearing, and you may enter your own value over here. Same thing happens. Text area, it's actually a larger data input field that generally comes along to place comments. Then comes a value, signifies you what type of text you should enter. This is another vital issue of file attachment. That means you are attaching a file to your form element. Suppose you are uploading an image, or you are uploading your CV, or some data, some file. Input type, or what kind of form element you will be actually dealing with over here, is now been shown. No, this is not actually the comment field. This is actually the comment field over here. So all you have to do is to now specify input type file, name, attach. Now go to file, save, come back to your project and reload. And another thing that I am just repeatedly forgetting every time, all you have to do is to provide a BR tag, input type file name, attach file. If you don't provide such things, if you don't use this line break tag over here, then all the things, they will be coming sidewise, horizontally, as you can see. Now reload this page. Now you see that another thing has been added to your form, that is the choose file option. If you click over here, you see that a dialog box is being opening over here. Now if you want to upload something, like if you want to upload this screenshot.jpg or anything like this, or any sort of data like this, then everything will be attached to it. Suppose you are trying to create over here, attach this video file over here, or you are trying to attach some JPEG file over here. All these things will be now possible. You are now attaching those files to your website, and then it will be uploaded with some programming languages. All that will be used over there. All along with those things, those will be used over there. So now your form field is now ready. It is actually now using a name, an address field, a drop down list or option list, where you will be provided with some options as said by the admin of the website. And then you will be providing some comment over here, and then you may attach some file as you may want over here. And after completing all these things into your form element, then you are ready to go. Now you may submit the data you have so far provided, and in the later parts you will be familiar with how to customize all these things. Actually, these things are now using the default value as given to them by the HTML, but if you want to customize all these fields, then you have to know about CSS more deeply. Now let's get back to summarize the whole tutorial, what we have learned so far. The first thing we are familiar with is how to set up our own project in this issue. The next thing is creating our first HTML document, and we are acquainted with the structure of our HTML document. Then we are familiar with some tags, with some header tags, with some text and font tags, paragraph tags, line break tags, etc., etc. Then we know what is the empty tag and the container tag over here, and we know how to place our documents into it, how to place our contents into a particular website. Then we are familiar with the list items, both the unordered list and the ordered list, and the nesting of these list elements. Then we are familiar with the tables, how to insert images into the table, how to insert content into the table, and how to nest that table particularly, which is very important. Then we are familiar with how to create some marquee tag and animation like appearance to your website. Then we are now familiar with some additional text and font formatting, and of course setting up some hyperlinks, like we are clicking here and we are going back to another project. We are now familiar with the form elements, which is a main issue in this case. We are now familiar with how to bring a particular form element into your project to accept data as provided by the user, and we are now familiar with creating the name field, the address field, the select type, the text area type, and of course the file attachment type, and the submit button to submit all the data as provided by you, as given by the user. So after all these things, now if we want to push on harder, if we want to proceed further, then something like this we are actually using here. You may see here that this is an animation. Whenever we are hovering on a particular list item, that particular list item is now getting broader or getting longer and covering all these particular div or particular part. So all these things are coming along with some CSS3 animation. And before moving to CSS3 animation, all we have to know is to learn about CSS and the rest of those things. So in these next classes we will be learning about CSS and those things, and we'll be getting familiar with cascading style sheet of particular elements into our project. Thank you.